Hello, and welcome to Talk, Therapy, Heal, a dynamic and engaging show that endeavors to shatter the many stigmas surrounding mental health and therapy. Talk, Therapy, Heal is a collective of licensed counselors, therapists, and life coaches, unique in areas of specialization, expertise, and experience. Through the art of curated, genuine, compassionate conversation, we get to the deep things. We are so excited you chose to begin your healing journey with us. Tune in to Talk, Therapy, Heal. Hello, and welcome to Talk, Therapy, Heal, a dynamic and engaging show where we get to the deep things. Join us for tonight's episode.
Welcome back, everyone. As Larisha said, we are going to be speaking about the topic of being overwhelmed, and we're going to be speaking about world events.
All right. So, do we have a definition for overwhelm? Can we look that up? Let's see. What is the definition of overwhelm? Let's see.
That's a good question.
I can give one.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So it is the psychological state where the demands placed upon an individual exceed their perceived capacity to manage them.
Perceived capacity.
Perceived
Oh,
capacity.
I like
Their
that one.
perceived
Their
capacity.
perceived capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to add to that because here's another one. It's a state of intense mental or emotional stress
Mental and emotional.
caused by an excessive, unimaginable volume of tasks, responsibilities, or sensory input.
That's good. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I like that. Because when I think about being overwhelmed, it's like it's a whole bunch of stuff being put on top of you. And it can be multiple things. I mean, different areas of things, but all of it being put on you at once. And it just feels too much.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that people most often describe it as is it's too heavy. And so, especially like in a therapy room, in the therapeutic process, we talk about decreasing that weight, taking some things off.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I was sitting up thinking about, because of course my mind is visualizing what you all are saying, and it made me think about, it was something that was kind of mentioned at the end of the last segment, but it's like running. You're always running. You're always working. It reminds me of that picture that I saw of this man, and he's running, but someone has a pole and a carrot in front of him.
Wow.
And he's trying to catch the carrot. And I think it was mentioned about the goalpost being moved.
Yeah.
And so in the definitions, capacity. I don't think a lot of individuals really look at their own capacity.
That is so true.
Because I'm so busy running and chasing. So just to think about for some of you all who are our age, and we've seen our parents, a lot of our parents were promised in their time that if you worked 30 years, you would get a retirement. But then somewhere over there, it seemed like you were getting fired at 29 years, so the company wouldn't have to pay you a retirement. So now, even for our ages, for our children, it's different. And so it seemed like you always running, because I'm trying to get and to achieve what? Which causes us to constantly overextend our capacity, which leads to being overwhelmed.
I like that you say that because it also is like a sense of being underwater.
Drowning.
Right? You're drowning. It's too much on you. So you're now drowning. And it causes, when you talk about that constantly moving, constantly going after something, exhaustion, lack of focus. So you can't even focus, confusion. And we know a lot that is going on right now. It's a lot going on. So there's a lot of people who are confused. A lot of people who don't know what to focus on. Their attention feels like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
I think for a lot of people, when they think about being overwhelmed, when you really break it down, not seeing an end in sight. Every time we get over a hump, here comes something else.
Almost like I'm always waiting for the
What next
shoe to
thing?
drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, for me, I try to balance that because sometimes I do get overwhelmed in the way that I just kind of pull back from everything.
Mhm.
And when you look at it and you think about current events that are currently going on, if you really break everything down, it is a lot to overwhelm anybody, regardless of what your capacity may be. Um, you've got the things going on with Homeland Security agents
Mm.
and what they're doing in different cities. You've got things what's going on with the Iran war right
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
Prices are going up on just about everything.
Mhm.
And it's easy for a person to get to that point where they just keep tracking everything and now they're just engulfed in everything and now they're just overwhelmed. It could be grief, it could be sadness. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where my next meal is coming from.
Mhm.
And so I think individuals have to understand um, the definitions that you guys are giving. You have to know what your capacity is.
Mhm.
Know when you're about to get there so that you don't get overwhelmed.
Yep.
And it's like you said, being underwater, if you know that you're comfortable swimming in a certain depth, when you reach that depth, you may want to stay there because the further you go out, the harder you're going to have to work and you may not be able to get back.
Mhm.
So I think as we go forward and we talk about being overwhelmed and looking at some of the things that are going on in current events, I think people have to ask them the question, what does that mean to you? What does
Mhm.
that do to you? What are your feelings about that? And then what do we do so that we're not overwhelmed?
Mhm.
Mm.
And
I don't want to cut you off.
mhm,
I want you to finish your statement. I want you to finish your thought.
I just think that one of the things people have to do, like Shannon was saying, is slow down, quit chasing everything.
Mhm.
And then have we really started to think with everything going on, do we stop for a minute and just operate in mindfulness?
Mm.
Mm.
I like that.
That's good.
I like that.
Mhm.
I wanted to add to that. I love that mindfulness piece. But that overwhelm isn't a personal failure because when we
Absolutely.
think about being overwhelmed because we're trying to take on so much, um, we feel like we failed in some sense,
Mhm.
but it's a predictable response to chronic pressure. When you're always chronic, like you said, it's always one thing after another, after
Mhm.
the next, after the next. That is pressure to perform.
Mhm.
And when you don't feel like you can, all of that is on top of you and you feel like I can't do it. I can't
Yeah.
do it. But you are not the failure.
Absolutely.
It's the chronic pressure. It's your overwhelmed feelings or a predictable response to that chronic pressure. So I want y'all to understand that feeling overwhelmed isn't necessarily because of something you did.
Mhm.
Because we can't cause the war in Iran. We didn't cause the war in Iran. We can't control the prices of food and gas and all of the things going up. We can't control a lot of these things, but being mindful, I feel like helps you to really stand or sit in that to understand I don't have that control.
Absolutely. And,
Mhm.
it really makes me think, when I work with my clients, I see what they're saying, but I put it always into a picture, into an analogy. And when you talk about being overwhelmed, think about the car that you drive.
Mm.
A lot of people have a RPM gauge.
Mhm.
That RPM gauge, you can only do so high. You can only go so far. When it starts redlining, something bad can potentially happen. So what is your RPM gauge?
Mm.
What is your pressure valve? When you have to recognize when you're getting there and start to try to come down before you get there so that
Mhm.
maybe some type of harm or, even mental health disorders, start to persist.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I think we got to maybe look at it also biologically,
That's good.
and look at the brain.
Mhm.
Did y'all know that the brain doesn't feel?
Oh.
Hey, go have me think.
Okay, so
It doesn't.
okay.
So,
It doesn't.
See that.
Right?
It
yeah,
doesn't.
the
You're
brain,
right.
the brain doesn't feel.
It sends
But the
messages.
brain, yeah, the brain is the center,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, for these things. And so, if I'm not mistaken, the amygdala
Uh-huh.
is the place on where, like, the sense of danger and
Yes.
threat and all of those things build up.
Mhm.
But the brain interprets outside stressors and outside pressure as stimuli and as stressors. So your brain, you know what I mean? In essence, you have to rewire, you know what I'm saying? Your brain. Not saying that you shouldn't feel anything, because you definitely should feel,
Right.
because that's a part of the human experience. But I, get a hold of get a hold of your brain.
Yeah.
But even with that, the continual feeling, or the continual uh, stressor or stimuli causes, you know what I mean, that chronic activation, I guess you could say.
Yes.
That chronic stress activation.
You're so in my head and so in my thoughts on that. Oh my God. Just thinking about that when we were talking a little bit off camera with the chronic stress versus situational stress. We were talking about, and for you to talk about the brain and how the amygdala is that firing tool that tells the body what to do. The nervous system, and you're so on point. You're so on point with the body is the thing that feels it. And I want people to understand too that the nervous system, which is the thing that governs our body, it wasn't designed for nonstop action.
Right.
We were never designed to constantly keep going and have all of these things constantly moving us. That's why we feel that sense of overwhelm, because our bodies wasn't designed for that.
That's right.
Oh my God.
And you know, what I hear people say often, the term that I'm kind of like hearing, and it's not just because of the current events that's going on, but I've been hearing this probably for about the past 2 years of people like, I just numb out. I just numb out. I hear people, because I think we used to say veg. It used to be, but it's like, no, I just numb out when I don't want to
Say rot now.
Right.
Say brain rot now.
Brain rot.
But yeah, veg out or rot.
Brain rot.
That's a whole other thing. But sorry.
No, that's good, because I didn't even know
Yeah, they
that.
say brain rot.
Brain rot.
Yes. Yeah.
Brain rot. And it's interesting because when I generally ask people, okay, so when you numb out, veg out, brain rot, and she just taught us, like, what do you do? And so most people that, especially that are gamers, is like, I just go and I just get in my game, and it's the repetitions of playing, and I don't like really think. I just do. You have some people that, turn to alcohol to self-soothe, turn to drugs to self-soothe, and things like that. But it's like what y'all were saying with the body continuously going nonstop. It makes me think about the engine. They show us the engine. If you don't put oil in, it'll lock up. But I remember, and I said this in another setting, I feel, did y'all ever used to have y'all mom say, calm your nerves? Boy, calm your nerves. Get over there and sit down. A girl, go sit down, calm your nerves. I think that because a lot of us are so accustomed to running, that overwhelm started to feel normal, where people have normalized it. Because I've even heard people say on the flip side, like, okay, this makes me think about when we were in school, when we were in UMHB. And when we actually graduated, I know for me, for at least 90 days, I was like, okay, what assignment do I got to do? What paper do I need to write for what class? And because it felt so foreign just to say, you achieved it, you relaxed. And I wonder if some people get addicted. Because I don't know how to sit still. Because you figure, like, our counseling program is like 2.5 years. So I don't know how to sit still. And it don't even have to be in school, just in life in general. I am hearing that people are finding it more and more difficult to learn how to just calm their nerves, sit in quiet. Even if I'm sitting in the tub soaking, something got to be going, 2 or 3 things at once. So it's like, I'm trying to get into the next. But when I think about overwhelm, I think about, because I used to do this and wear it like a badge of honor, multitasking. Oh, shoot, I got that. Look, load it on. And then I'm doing 15 things at once. And then I got an attitude because why it seemed like I'm the only one doing all the work. But I took it on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a strange dynamic, because if we think about current events, It makes me think about keeping people distracted, keeping people in fear, keeping people on edge. So you know how they say you throw the rock and you hide your hand. So I'm gonna throw this rock over here so everybody can pay attention to all this commotion and dysfunction going on over here while I'm over here doing something to benefit myself. And that's what it seems like with a lot of these things. I have to create chaos so it would keep people in a certain state of feeling fearful, overwhelmed, unsafe, and all these things, but I'm creating a diversion so I could do something to benefit me. That's what I feel like, not in all current events. Because most of this, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to shut up for a minute, because this lady said it on TikTok. Somebody said it to me, and I said, that's true. So let's talk about gas prices, eggs, because that's what people were concerned about. That's what was the story that was sold, if you will. Why are we having to pay for much of anything? Why is it not free? Do y'all remember water used to be free when we was growing up? I don't remember paying for water, especially if you had a pump house and a well. So why are we paying for water? Why are we paying for air? Come on, somebody go there with me, because that's overwhelming to me. So I'm just like, why?
At least answer the water, because
Please.
we have manufactured it and made it
Sparkling.
yeah.
She says sparkling.
It's now sparkling and distilled, and it's
And we put chlorine tabs in it.
Yeah.
And so now it's better for you, but it's solidly killing water.
Yeah. So we've made it to where it's we've monetized it. It's been monetized. A lot of things that were free has been monetized.
Just overwhelming.
Yes.
Because, okay, so case in point to what you're saying, which still kind of overwhelming for me. Do y'all know, have y'all heard, and this ain't current events, but it was events, that in some places it is illegal to catch rainwater?
Yep.
Have y'all ever heard of that?
Yes.
Oh, but why?
There was an individual, and I can't remember what state he was in. He had a tank, and he was catching rainwater, using it for different things. I can't remember if he's one of those individuals kind of living off the grid. But the local police department came and arrested him because they said it was illegal to do that.
But isn't the rain?
Ain't supposed to be free?
I'm confused.
So it's things that used to be normal. Yes.
Right.
Yes. And in some states, it is actually illegal for you to catch rainwater. Most people, especially us in the country, when you had gardens and stuff like that growing up, you would catch rainwater and water your garden.
I just remember my grandmama doing that all the time. Like we always had the flower.
Everything has become so commercialized. They want to drive everything to make $1 off anything they can.
So we gonna. So what we gonna? How we gonna package rainwater? We about to start packaging rainwater.
And it was even to the point that last year.
Well, I'm sorry. It just hit me because we pay for dirt.
You said what?
We pay for dirt.
And dirt is right. Exactly.
And rocks.
I need a load of dirt. Yeah.
When it should be free. So think about all the things that we were talking about, especially in the last episode. It's over. This is why I think people have come to the point of it being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yes, we got current events and everything like that. But it was to the point that last year, I forget specifically who it was, as we're speaking about gardens. Okay, well, people want to eat natural stuff. They want to make sure there's no pesticides in their food, that they're paying for things to kill them. And they were saying that they was trying to figure out a way to make people who have gardens register their gardens. You have to register your garden. And so in this conversation that was being had, because I always ask questions. How would someone know that you have a garden in your backyard? And they were like drones.
I was going to say, the drones. If I can Google my house and see my house in real time and zoom in on my backyard, they can see.
Yeah.
So that right there to me calls overwhelm, and it could cause all kind of things because you're purposing to lead a healthier life or
Mhm.
stretch, make $1 out of 15 cents. Because if you go to the grocery stores now, which, that's part of current events as well. Like I recently went to the store. I added up when I went to Sam's. I added up when I went to HEB. Shout out HEB. We love you. If y'all ever want to sponsor us, I'm just saying y'all get this through the HE butts.
Okay.
But with that being said, I was like, I know you lying. I know this was not, and it wasn't a lot of stuff. I said, I know this wasn't over $900.
Mm.
Why?
Mhm.
Well,
That's
this
overwhelming.
it is
Very
definitely
overwhelming.
I know.
Right.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think people intentionally overwhelm other individuals for their benefit?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I was doing a little research, and right now I'm not going to call any names or anything. I'll tell people go research this yourself. You will see it. But there was a certain political candidate and one of his associates, and this associate basically said that we need to use what they call the flood tactic. You flood people with so much information, lies, deceit, crazy facts. And by the time they read through it and try to figure it all out, you've already moved on and did what you had to do, and they're still back there doing that. And what that does is that really overwhelms an individual's brain. It makes them start having cognitive distortions.
Right.
They can't control their emotions. All the while, you're being played like a puppet from afar. Now, once again, like I said, I don't want to make this political, but I will go back and say this. If you research this enough, you will find out that this is an old Soviet tactic. And the synopsis behind it is, how do you fight a tidal wave? You can't. Because once it's coming in hitting you, there's absolutely nothing you can do but ride it out. And that's what I believe is happening when it comes to current events right now. There is so much stuff coming at us. We don't know what to believe, what not to believe. We're trying to run over here and say this is true. And by the time you may or may not find, you're over here finding something else out. Now what it has did, it has put fear and paralysis in your brain. And so now if you call a lie and you believe a lie, oh, your brain is off and running now because you fear the unknown or what you don't know. And it's just a political tactic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flooding.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
with that, and I thought about this concept too of not coping with things like you're saying to ride it out. And I wrote down sometimes the solution isn't adding tools. It's removing the stimuli.
Absolutely.
Less input creates more capacity. We've been talking about capacity. And so we're talking about all of these things that's going on to keep you from, being inundated with all of these things. What can you take out that would lessen the impact of the tidal wave?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do me a favor. Was you going to say something about flooding? Because it made me think about something I seen in a movie because, of course, I'm visual. What flooding? What was you going
I
to say?
was
Because
thinking about it from definitely, all domains, the emotional, psychological, spiritual, financial, literally all of our domains, you know what I mean, that we live on, it is being flooded. It's being overtaken, you know what I'm saying, by the things that we're seeing in the news, by the events, by, words that are said, by actions that are done. But you said something about taking away. And sorry, I don't want to touch on
Go ahead. Because
I look at it like a backpack.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We need a backpack for school, for getting around. I'm just thinking about my purse. You know what I mean? But over time, let's just say we were filling the backpack with books. Right? Over time, that backpack is going to get really, really, really heavy and become overwhelming and cause physical manifestations. It's going to injure your back, mess with your posture, probably even mess with, how you walk and how your feet plant on the ground and all of that. But you said, take away the stimuli. And so with that backpack, we got to remove some of those books. We got to remove some of those items within that backpack. And that will minimize, you know what I mean, the overwhelm. But it's still there.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I don't think it will go
Mhm.
away. That's why I was saying to Kenya's point with riding the tidal wave won't be as impactful as it
Right,
would have been
right.
had you not removed some things,
That's
right?
right.
Absolutely.
And you're absolutely right, especially with all of the things that we do have going on with us. And I know we've been looking really at current events,
Yeah.
but I'm also thinking about relational, interpersonal things, how you are relating to yourself, how you are relating to people in your circle, like your family members, your spouses, relationships with people that could also be overwhelming
Right.
or add to the overwhelm.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful in, how we are looking at things, or just understanding what books, like you said, that backpack, what books are in our backpack that we can remove. Some of them we might not be able to remove. Like there are some relationships that we might not be able to remove. There are some people who want to leave their job but can't leave their job.
Right.
So that's one of that you still have to carry, but how will you allow it to impact you? Right? I was talking about like regulation before resolution, or thinking about regulation before resolution. So regulating that body, regulating that nervous system, we have to remove some things in order for us to even get to a place where we can regulate, right?
Right.
And then it's really about the bottom line. The strategy is to stabilize. How can you stabilize? If I got all of these things that is causing me overwhelm, what can I do? You, not the other people, because I know
Right.
sometimes we look at others to create the stability that we need, but you have to create that stability for yourself. So what can you do to stabilize yourself? And so I guess that's a good question for us to answer. How have you all stabilized yourself in the midst of all of these current events that's going on in order to decrease the amount of overwhelm that you do feel?
Well, I'll definitely start because I've been trying to work on this.
What I've been doing actually this year, started at the beginning of January, is first of all realizing, as we were speaking about a previous, control. I feel that for some reason we as a people, and I'm still trying to pinpoint that, we feel like that we have the ability to control everyone else. And sometimes when we do that, then we lack control within ourselves. And so I kind of brought it on back to like, let me look at the things that I can. I remember Kenya saying this before, can and cannot control. So with that, we like kind of whittled it all the way down, if you will, of me understanding or coming to the realization, who do I really want to be around? When I was coming to a place, because I had a good sister friend. Look, let me look out. Let me call her out.
I
Look at-
guess
and
it's gonna be me.
Look, but we ain't gonna say no names. My head went this way. But she specifically asked me and I don't mind sharing this, last year, I think it was about like October or something, we was having a phone call. And she was like, I'm starting to notice a pattern. That's what she said. Every year about this time, you tend to say the same thing. And I was like, I know, right? I wasn't offensive or anything, but you were actually right. And so what I realized is that I would get to a certain point, but I would, listen to what I'm saying, I realized I would allow people to treat me certain ways. I allowed it. I allow people, like what I've been implementing this year with conversation. What has been draining me? Because in that draining, meaning that you're also overwhelmed, or at least for me. So what has been draining / overwhelming me? And I went back and thought about conversations that I had where I'd ask certain people, hey, I don't mind catching up. So my conversations that I desire in this year looks like this. We are literally checking in with each other, iron sharpening iron. Nobody can use me anymore for my giftings, talents, and all those. So I've cut that out. That's a boundary. Because how can I teach clients about boundaries if I'm not boundarying?
Okay.
Okay. So that, and then I was like, no, let me be mindful of, as we've heard a lot in the church, growing up, in God, our ear gates. What am I allowing into my ears? So when it comes to, as we had said in the previous show, I don't watch CNN. I don't watch HLN. My husband had kind of brought this I remember him saying this in some other forum, and he was like, you may have a 30-minute news segment, and 25 minutes of that is going to be nothing but negative, negative, negative. This person died, this person got shot, this person did this. And then they'll have one feel-good story at the end.
Yep.
And okay, we'll be back at 9 o'clock, or whatever, or 10 o'clock.
All over again.
Yeah, to do it.
Mhm.
And so I've been very mindful of what I take in, and I've been intentional. So my other piece is what we do at the beginning of the year, generally January, that we're going to talk about who we're going to meet up with, family, friends for the year. We put on our calendar for the year. I intentionally wanted to be around people that I know when we get together, we're going to laugh, we're going to joke, we're going to have deep conversation. It's iron sharpening iron. I don't want to be around anybody draining. I don't want to be in it because I find myself saying, girl, you still talking about that? You've been taught that for 9 years and you ain't did nothing. So what are we talking about here? Which helped me understand I'm a doer and I'm being around drainers. So the key point of all that for me is I allowed. We like to blame others for the reason why we're overwhelmed. No, you're overwhelmed on that job. You allow your boss to stress you out. You allow them coworkers that you try to call friends to get up in your business. So I guess the question for me that I had to ask myself, what am I allowing?
That's good. You had so much that you said there that tied into it sparked me. When I'll say this, birds of a feather flock together,
Come on.
right?
And they do.
Why is that?
Because they misery love company.
In a sense, but we are fundamentally social type individuals. So we flock to that which is like us or something. So if we're overwhelmed by, let's say, social media, we're overwhelmed by the news, we're fearful of what we hear. That's why we become overwhelmed. And so what is this for us to do when we fear? We run to those other individuals that fear the exact same thing. And it becomes normal for us. And that's why it becomes overwhelming. You have all these people that are saying the same thing. I'm scared of this. I'm scared of that. And the answer to what you say, what do we have to do? Sometimes you have to back away from that flock.
Take it, like we said,
remove some of that stuff and then get grounded in yourself. Because just because you're scared of something, I may be a little fearful of it, but I don't have to react the exact same way.
Absolutely.
So like I grew up in the country doing all kinds of stuff. And I remember one of the things that I was afraid of the most was snakes. Now, I asked myself that question. Why was I fearful of snakes? Only because somebody told me to be scared of them. I never had a real bad interaction with a snake, up until a couple of points. And then after that, I realized that, okay, I can respect them. I ain't playing with them. I ain't picking them up. But I don't have to be as fearful as I was. If I saw one, I would freak out. Now I can see one, like, oh, what that snake doing? Oh, get the BB gun, get the shotgun, get something. It's got to go. But I don't freak out as much. So sometimes what we have to do, the thing that we are fearful of, we have to learn something about it. And then you may find out that maybe there's no reason to really be fearful of some of those things that are there. What are other people telling you to boost that fear and it's or that uncomfortableness in you? Because how many times have people told you, don't eat that girl, that ain't good enough for you, then when you tasted it, it was good. Sometimes people instill fear in you because they really don't want you to know knowledge. They don't want you to have power. They don't want you to have money. They don't want to see you come up in this world. And once again, I ain't pointing no fingers, but if you look in the news, you found out. Okay.
Right. Y'all answer the question. I want to hear y'all answer. Look, I want to hear y'all's answer.
Yes.
What do y'all do?
And when you're overwhelmed, my question to y'all, what do y'all do?
Oh. Yeah.
Shan already know what I do.
Oh. But the people don't know.
Yeah, she already knows. Don't to the
range. What I do when I'm overwhelmed, I pause and I take a step back. Initially it was I would isolate. I would isolate myself from it, but now I distance myself from it. There's a difference. Isolation, right, means I don't want no contact. I don't want no interaction. I don't want, you know what I'm saying, no interworkings of whatever that thing might be. Distance is, okay, it's here, I'm here, and this is what I'm doing in this space. I am creating a peaceful space.
Mm-hmm.
I am reevaluating maybe my commitments to make sure that my boundaries, you know what I mean, are in place. I am, um, being mindful.
Yeah.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You shared that a little bit earlier, and being intentional.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm.
mean about you know what responsibility I take on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being intentional about my commitments, and I'm being aware of like what my limitations are.
Oh, that's good.
You know, we're not
Yes.
That's
really
good.
sometimes we're not really like you said earlier, the multitasking.
Mhm.
Mm.
We got to be aware of our capacity.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
We got to be
Mhm.
aware.
I truly, truly agree. Some of the things that you
Yeah.
mentioned are a lot of the things that I do is pause, breathe, because I want to trace where the emotion came
Mhm.
from for me. And so when overwhelm comes on, I take that minute and take a step back, like, okay,
Mhm.
what just came over me? What am I taking on that maybe I need to let go of? And I can't do that if I don't take time to sit with myself. So sitting with myself, pausing, breathing through it, I allow my body to kind of settle and feel what it's feeling
Right.
so that it can tell me what it needs. And
Mm.
in that moment, it's me regulating my nervous system. I
Mhm.
regulate my nervous system so that I can make better choices.
Mhm.
Because if my nervous system, I've noticed for me, when my nervous system is overloaded and it's just all over the place, that amygdala then took over.
Mm.
I'm in that what we call that. We went down that rabbit hole.
Mhm.
Oh, Nikki about to make some decisions, some choices that might not suit her very well. So
Mhm.
she might want to take a minute to back off of it. So I regulate myself. I get quiet. Like I
Mhm.
said, it's not about isolating. It's about getting still.
Mhm.
I get still enough. And for me, um, if I can live on the beach, that's where y'all find me.
Mhm.
Water is so calming for me, but nature I found is even more calming. I always tell people, my husband be
Mhm.
like, "You love talking about them animals."
Mhm.
Behind me is a 5-acre tract with cows and goats, and I love to watch them because they are so entertaining.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I sit in my room or I sit in a part of my house that overlooks that, and I just allow myself to be immersed in another world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that regulates my system to the point where I can now no longer be overwhelmed and then make better decisions about what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know, that's good.
What do you do, Mr. King?
You already know what I do.
But they don't
I'm
know.
getting to the
I'm
range.
married to you.
I need to smell some gunpowder.
Oh.
I need to fling some arrows. I need to go sit by a pond or a lake, do some fishing, or run up a tree stand, just sit there. It may not even be deer season. Just sit there and watch animals.
Mhm.
You would be surprised what you will learn from watching
Yes.
animals out in the open.
Yes.
But another thing that I do, and I gave a class this week at work, gratitude and mindfulness.
That's good.
So sometimes we're overwhelmed because we're always focusing on the negative stuff. When do we stop and just focus on the positive stuff?
That's true.
Good.
So we tell people this at the end of the day, I always have a to-do list. I make a list for everything I do at work. And if I get down that list and I had 15 things on it and I did 10, I did 10. The other five just going to have to wait.
Yeah.
I can't focus on the other five because ain't nothing I'm going to do. I'm not staying there for overtime.
Okay.
So you might as well just stay where you're, stay in the moment. It's present in the moment to understand that it's not always bad stuff that's happening, and give yourself attaboys and pats on the back for things that you are doing, that you are able to accomplish.
Yeah.
The last class I just gave, we asked individuals as they came in, write things that you are grateful about. And some people was like, I'm grateful for the fact that I woke up this morning. I got another day.
Right.
I'm grateful that one guy said I had a flat tire, but I had it while I was at home. It wasn't when I was on the road. We need to start focusing on some of the positive stuff and not always the negative, because that's the issue that we're having now.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Agreed. Agreed. I truly agree. So when you think about, I guess reflection. So I want to use this as a reflection question. And this is for everybody as well. What are you consuming that your nervous system can't process?
That's good.
Mm.
What are you consuming that your nervous system can't process?
That's a good question. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hatred,
Mm.
discrimination, race. Let me start. Okay.
No, you're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me it was I would definitely say it was negativity. Like my heart, I'm such a I feel caring person and my heart kind of bleeds for people. And so that story, but then when I find out that they stay stuck, so I was just taking in a bunch of negative to the point that when I get out the phone, I would feel heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I'm like, and didn't want to do nothing for the rest of the day.
That's the overwhelm. That's
I was
overwhelm.
like, I don't
When you
like
feel like
this.
everything is on you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll say it like this because y'all be like, dang, how you hold counsel and you don't like to talk? That's not the point. The point is when you have a conversation with them and they intentionally dump on you,
Yeah.
they feel lighter.
Yeah.
You feel
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're having a conversation with individual that they go 1,000 miles an hour. They don't even stop and breathe.
Right.
And then you be like, I gotta go. I know.
Stop.
You try to
Right.
jump in.
I gotta go to the,
Hey,
I got another call.
what about that person who, when they call you and ask you what you're doing and you say what you're doing and then they just jump right in? It's like, wait,
Yes.
I just said I was about to go take my shower so I can relax and you
Right.
just. So my boundary has been, if I'm about to do something for me, you don't get an answer.
Yeah.
I don't even
agree.
pick up.
Yep.
I'm not going to answer my phone.
Yep. Phone be
And
on
they
read.
be like, I called you and I was about to do something for myself. So I
Right.
did not answer your call. I have no need or feel any obligation to not lie to you. Like, why would I lie? I'm not going to lie.
Exactly.
What's the point?
Yep.
You know, I just did not want to talk to you at that time because I knew I needed time for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you were saying conversations and connections that are reciprocal
Yes.
is what you're seeking.
That's what I desire. That's what I think is amazing. Because otherwise, a lot of times our conversations, I feel, is that people can be one-sided. And so my thing is this, and maybe it's because I'm a counselor, I don't know. If a person is intentionally dumping, then go get you a counselor.
Oh my God. And
Let that counselor help you process.
I don't need no therapist. Yes, you do.
But the way you be calling me though, I'm just like, and so but then also I think going back to having those boundaries, such as, because I think, oh man, I love boundaries. I wish I was taught this when I was younger. But
Oh my God.
with boundaries, people know. I teach people now. If you look outside and it's dark, don't call me because I'm in the bed. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll be apologizing when I'm texting after 9. But but I think that's very important as well. But no, I cannot do the lopsided conversation. So what I do is what you said, Larisha. I don't isolate myself, but there will be fewer conversations. That's what I do. What y'all do? What y'all do?
For me, I just find a stopping point. Sometimes I let people get a little bit out and then I interject, offer them some resources, and I got to go. It's not being mean, but as counselors, we have to understand we can't take on everything.
Right.
And we know about dual relationships and all that stuff. So we definitely have to throw that out there. But sometimes you just have to stop and just throw it in. Oh, you know what? I hear everything that you're saying. And it seems like you really got a lot going on. Have you thought about, you know what? Let me refer you. Because you can't take everything on. The more you allow a person to dump, the more they're going
They're going
to do it. Yeah.
That's true.
It's no different than, it's like, I call it the restaurant analogy. You open up a restaurant, your friend comes in and he says, hey man, I came out to see you. Open up the restaurant, look like, hey man, come on in, sit right there. I got you, this on me. Then every other time he comes in, they expect to get a free meal. Until you have to tell them, there's other restaurants down the block that would be able to be happy to take your money. I will take your money too, but the free soup kitchen is
It's closed.
That's it.
Yeah, no, I got a question. So let's flip it. So let's say that a lot of those who are listening don't know how to, say, probably never been to counseling or never been taught but know how to recognize when they're overwhelmed. So it may be those who are around them in their close circle. It may be those who are in their family. Because I remember Kenya all the time, like, okay, so I'm a very strategic, achievable goal type person. So I'd be like, I would wake up, well, today I want to do this, 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 and this. It's like 5 things I want to knock out. And I used to think, like he was saying, if I didn't achieve those things, I was a failure. But those things, because I was taking on more than I could chew, would overwhelm me. And he would come in and he'd be like, baby, okay, just rest. Like, why don't you just save that to tomorrow, or maybe this weekend we could work together to knock it out. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's just one more thing. Somebody was just doing this to me. So I was like, I just got to do one more thing. And my mind, I love it. Look, and I was just like, okay, just one more thing. I'm just going to wipe this one
And
more
I
thing.
have to, but didn't you just say you was finna sit down?
Heck yeah. And so I'm preaching to myself right now is what I'm feeling, because I just set my own self up. But with that being said, I was so goal structured that I would get upset at my own husband, because I'm like, you're stopping me from meeting my goal, when no, he was recognizing if I kept going like the Energizer Bunny, I would crash. So I think it's important to be mindful.
It is. And you know what you just said, because you said, how do people who may not have gone to therapy and all of the things understand what they're feeling when they are overwhelmed? Just what you just said, you didn't listen to your body. The body communicates. It talks.
Yeah.
It speaks. You're irritable. You're shutting down. You got brain fog, exhausted. You don't have nothing else to give. Your body is telling you something. And most people don't listen until they crash. When the body actually physically shuts down, it's when most people burn out. Yes. Ooh, we're going to talk about burnout. When most people, that's when people actually take heed. But by that time, you got all these physical manifestations that is happening in the body now, to where you need assistance medically because you didn't listen. But the thing that the kicker is that people are fearful of sitting with themselves to even hear what the body is saying. Because if I get quiet, it's going to tell me the truth. And maybe I can't handle the truth.
Wow.
And then if you also think about it, the era that we live in, everything is becoming more and more fast-paced.
Yeah.
It's become more competitive. So we're always trying to stay up to date with the latest and greatest and keep up with this and that. And we're just running, like Sharon said, the carrot thing. What we have to do is get to a point where we do recognize that everything's moving fast, and just slow it down for ourselves. Just sit down somewhere, as they used to say. Recognizing your cognitive decline. If you get to a point where I can't remember anything, I don't know where I put this at, I thought I did this, oh, I don't understand this anymore. Your brain is foggy. You got too much in there. It's too much. So you have to sit back for a while.
But people think they have to keep going because society tells them to.
Precisely. So, we all did this. I was 17. I was a whole 17 years old coming into the military. You know what I'm saying? And so once you get in there, what's the first thing that they say? You got to go, 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 go. No, you don't sit down. You always got to be doing something. Oh, you got time to be sitting there. You got to be time to be in that smart book. Learn them CTT tasks. And so even when you get to your first duty station, you keep going. We can say, can we get some downtime? And then the time that you get the downtime is when you really want to move. Look, you're getting told that you got to deploy. When are we deploying? I don't know. Y'all just go sit on the airfield and wait.
Oh,
Hurry up
hurry
and wait.
Hurry up and wait.
There you go.
Oh, my goodness.
That's interesting. The overwhelm.
How do you...
Well, I was thinking more of emotions.
Okay.
And I feel like, well, ask the question again.
When, okay, no, not that one.
I think it's what do you do when you get overwhelmed?
Yeah, when you're...
to keep from getting overwhelmed.
Keep from getting overwhelmed. So I look at my emotions. I think you shared irritable and things like that. If my emotions are you know what I mean, coming out or being expressed in a way that may be harmful to those around me, I got to take a look at. You know what I'm saying? Those
Mhm.
emotions. But having I would say the right mindset about what emotions are, I
Mm.
think is the starting point.
Mhm.
So if you look at emotions not as good or bad, you know what I mean, negative or positive, but if you look at it from the perspective of them being strong,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, or weak, right? Then maybe you may be more apt to see them as a warning signal.
Mm.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because emotions are warning signals that something
Mhm.
is going on in the physical body, but not only that, probably something is going on externally,
Mhm.
you
Right.
know, as well. But I think we have, and I'm generalizing, our mindset is we don't want to sit with the emotion. We don't want to
Mhm.
sit with the discomfort.
Mhm.
But if we change our view on that, I mean, that's a whole other process. But if
Mhm.
we change our view on the emotional piece, then maybe it'll be easier for us to address it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And then address it and then, move from that place of um, chronic, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The chronic stress or the chronic activation.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. It's about having that emotional intelligence, and
Mhm.
emotional understanding, like just emotions, like you said, not seeing them in one way or another,
Mhm.
but just understanding that we all have them.
Yeah.
It's a natural part of who we are.
Right.
It's a warning. It's a
Yeah.
warning system.
Yeah.
Engine light come on in your car. Oh.
Keep driving. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do.
That's what
You're close to E. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The light come
I can
on.
go
I
another
need
mile.
gas, but I mean, we can't ignore these things.
which is what you're saying is we
Yeah,
override.
yeah.
Override.
We override, which
Mhm.
is what we keep pushing.
Mm.
Yeah.
We push.
Yeah.
You hear people say, "I just gotta keep pushing." I have somebody that used to tell me all the time, "I just put my head down and keep going." And it's like, so you're just gonna ignore all of the things, all of the red warning signs. You're just gonna put your head down and keep
Mhm.
going. How do you know where you're heading if your head is
Mhm.
down?
Mhm.
But see, that's the thing. I think when I sit up and I think about this, our bodies can only take so much.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we keep doing like you saying, and we got our foot on the pedal and the engine is in us, we just going, going, then we're surprised when our body's breaking down.
Mhm.
Because all the warning lights, think about your vehicle. One warning light pop on, it's like, oh, I got to get it to the dealership. Hopefully, maybe you got a shade tree beginning. Some, you didn't even know these lights existed, and all of them pop on, and you
Yes.
still have confidence to drive from here to New Orleans.
Right.
But why is that though?
Mm.
It's because they feel like they're the ones that's in control. Because when you put the
Um,
shoe on the other foot, it's totally different.
Mhm.
So your car, you're driving, check engine light comes on, you're like, but I don't feel nothing. It's still okay. We'll keep going. But be on that airplane and that fasten seatbelt light going,
Bruh.
hey, hold on. What's
What
going
you
on?
said? Look, then I want to pay because you know how we don't pay attention to the airline stewardess when they up there
Hey,
blowing into the tube and
Like, what she said?
what a line at? Supposed to be falling off the ceiling. Give me my air.
put mine on. You see?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's when our bodies, and I've seen this with people, like when your body shut down, it boils down to being proactive or reactive.
That's it.
And I feel that we here in the United States, I won't speak about the world because I see it more so here. We are such a reactive people.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we because we're reactive and something happens, then again, we get upset of why you're not reacting this way. Why you not? Baby, because I was proactive.
Mm-hmm.
I paced myself. I did all the things that we said that we do not to become overwhelmed. And I don't get the mindset of when you made a choice to continue in high gear. And now you mad at the ones who decided to choose them
Mm-hmm.
over situational. You said something, or situational something you said earlier.
Situational stress.
You chose to be stressed out to the max. And we're trying to prevent things because of what has occurred with situational stress.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think for a lot of individuals that there has to be a educational aspect of it that goes along with what you were saying about prevention.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the prevention world, they say prevention is basically um, it's 80% prevention, 20% is medication or, you know, applying things to stop it. And we don't do that prevention aspect very well.
Mm-mm.
We may touch it just a little bit, but we really don't do a deep dive in educating individuals in this manner to say, this is what stress looks like. These are the two different types of stress. This is what it does to your body. This is what it feels like when you're overwhelmed, anxious. There are some people that are having anxiety attacks and don't even realize it because they have no clue. And a lot of people say, well, I had this all my life. I didn't realize that's what it was. You never stop to look.
Right.
So I think what people need to do, you need to treat your body like a manual. You buy a car, you may sit there and figure out, well, I need to figure out how to turn the radio on. I need to work the AC controls, but all that stuff about emergency breakdown procedure, you never touch it until you get to that point where you break down on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And the first thing to make, hey, did you do this? Well, it's right here in your book.
We go to YouTube.
I didn't see that. That's what I'm saying.
Try to fix
Yeah.
it.
Hey,
Give
and
me
if
some super glue.
and if you're out there, some of the places like I go sometimes, you be like, I ain't got nothing out here. What you gonna do at that point? You gotta read your body because it is a manual in itself.
It is.
And just what y'all were saying too, just real quick, because I know we're coming to the end. You know how they say stress is a silent killer.
Mm-hmm.
And we choose to just stay in stress and then wonder, stroke, as we used to call transient ischemic attacks, TIAs, mini strokes, heart attacks. Because people will sit up and be like, I didn't feel like I had a heart attack. According to your body, you've had, stroke. According to your body, you've had 3.
Right.
Like, I don't. So basically, to be overwhelmed or to not be overwhelmed, does it boil down to in this show that it's a choice?
Oh, I'd say yes. I'd say yes. To an extent.
Yeah.
I say yes to an extent because we can't control a lot of the global things that we see going on. Some financial, because some people are managing their monies well, but it's just not enough. So you can't account for that. So I think we can control it with what's within our control.
That's it.
Right? As much as overwhelm is within our control, we can. But when it's outside of that, no.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say individuals need to really check their filters. Anything that you have that operates off a filter, if you don't take it out every once in a while, blow the dust out, it's going to clog up or it's going to cause some problems. One of the ways we can recognize that we're being overwhelmed, especially with things going on in media and things of that nature, is when you hear something and that just starts to bother you, your filter is probably clogged. You probably need to quit listening to it. So if you're tired of hearing about the war in Iran, quit listening to the news about that because you're just putting more clogged stuff in there and it's going to clog your system up. If you're tired about turning on the TV and every time they're talking about Democrats versus Republicans, then quit listening to it. You're clogging up your system. So people need to put a filter in place, but understand this with a filter as well. That filter is going to let some stuff through. Sometimes you have to let some things through so your body get used to those things because you've never experienced it. Then you feel out of place and you really become overwhelmed because you never had that experience before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, how
We there.
I hate to say it, y'all. I mean, wait, this is overwhelming. We have to stop. No,
Right.
let me stop. Yeah, this has really been good, and I hope we've said some things that really kind of broke things down for everybody to understand what being overwhelmed is, how it looks or it feels maybe within the body, all of the things. I want to ask real quick if we can for everybody, if you have one last thing that you want to say to the people about overwhelm, what would it be?
Know your limits. Know when you need to stop. Your body can only take so much and you only get one body.
Yeah.
I would say know your responsibilities, but check yourself and see if you've accepted something that does not fit into, where you're going and what you're trying to accomplish.
I like that. What you got to say, Shan?
I was gonna say just really understand to control only what you can control.
Mm.
Don't focus on what you can't control
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that can be overwhelming.
Yes. Oh, yes, yes. And I'm going to say, you're not overwhelmed because you're incapable. You're overwhelmed because you've been carrying too much
Mm.
for too long.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to release.
Right.
We thank you all so much for joining us here tonight at Talk Therapy Heal as we broke down prayerfully in some way that penetrated your mind, the concept, if you will, of being overwhelmed. We hope that you were able to walk away with something that will be helpful for you in your journey of life. If you're watching us by way of YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell. Because we want y'all to know when we're back on talking about these great things that may be impacting you or someone that you know. So again, share. If you are listening to us by way of podcast, please don't forget to share. Don't forget to share. We love to hear you all's feedback as well. So if you have something that you want us to know about, share with us, please leave a comment. We read them. We do read them. So again, we want to thank you for joining us here tonight at Talk Therapy Heal. You all have a great rest of your night. Bye.
Good night.